Brooke, your first in, how you doing? Um, it's still early here. Sadwings never off the bastard computer, you are you? Have you seen some of the stuff Joe Biden's come out with lately? I had to do, it's only early, I'll do a quick stream just to go over it, because the VP debate's going off tonight, I think. Nobody with any sense is even remotely interested in watching the VP's debate, because Kamala Harris is just a lizard, a reptile, and when she slithers onto the stage, I don't think anyone's going to care what she has to say, because she's proven that she is. She's like a chameleon. She says whatever is politically expedient, and her record proves that. Like, up until 2 or 3 years ago, when it became fashionable to become a communist, she was like right of Obama. She was pretty right wing for a Democrat. She was like locking people up. She really touted being this badass RoboCop prosecutor. Like, that was her entire persona. Was, I'm going to be tough on crime. But her record's shocking. All right, lads. Ragnar, Cheshire. Cop Marla. The problem with her is, like I said, I don't think she's actually very left-wing at all. I don't think she's... I don't hate Camel Toe Harris. Yeah, she's got some good nicknames, hasn't she? Kamala Sutra is one of my favourites. Oh, fucking hell, yeah. I did read about booze getting banned in Scotland. That's going to go down well, isn't it? That's going to go down like a knackered lift. Sadwings, that is. That is going to go down like a defective elevator. Doesn't sound as good as a knackered lift, does it? But yeah, Kamala Harris, Kamala Sutra, she seriously is just a political animal. And they are the worst, most detestable types of creatures, aren't they? Like, seriously, maybe I'm wrong here, but someone like Bernie Sanders, who's never really had a proper job, you know he's a dyed-in-the-wool socialist type. Bernie Sanders, for all of his flaws, as a man, I prefer him to Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. And I think that's why all of the sort of left-wing hippie types, not the self-serving scum that makes up a large amount of the Democrat Party, I think that's why a lot of them liked him, because he's obviously got integrity in his own way. He's completely misled by his beliefs, but he believes them. He definitely does. He's been a socialist type for 30 years. That is preferable to a fucking viper like Kamala Sutra, or even Joe Biden, isn't it? Joe Biden, who's been in politics for 47 years. He's been at it longer than fucking, I don't know, he's like Mum Ra the ever living, that cunt. Like, he's been there for 47 years, and now he's claiming he wants to, yeah, Cole, I can see it. And now he's claiming he's some sort of like far out dudes, peace out hippie type. It's laughable. And I think that's why I despise them so much. Again, Obama, to me, I didn't dislike him as much as Biden or Kamala, because Obama, he was relatively new onto the scene, and it was hard to pin down exactly what type of bloke he was. But the likes of Camel Toe and Sleepy Joe, they're just political animals. And I do think the general public, nearly everyone, despises that type of thing, don't they? Political animals that will just say one thing and do the other. You prefer people, I definitely do, you prefer people that are totally disagree with you, completely against what you think, but are always consistent. Because, again, I've talked about all the lefties in England that people don't despise, do they? The Beast of Bolsover, people like Michael Foot, Peter Shaw, Tony Benn, all the famous lefties, they're all better liked than the likes of Tony Blair. Tony Blair, who runs on a platform as if he's Labour, and he's all like, yeah, man, Labour for the people and all this, and then as soon as he gets in, he's like fucking invading everyone. Invading Iraq, even though there was more WMDs under my fucking nana's fridge in Middlesbrough. This is why people hate politicians, because they'll say one thing and do the exact opposite. The exact opposite. And when someone, and even more detestable than Biden in that respect, is Kamala Harris. Like, she ran off a platform of being RoboCop. She was always going on how tough on crime she was. And even that was awful because, yeah, exactly, Ragnar. But what I'm saying is Peter Shaw was an honest, convinced man of his own ideology. And he wasn't just singing off some hymn sheet. He was right about the EU because the very, very left-wing people are also against the EU, right? Because the EU have all these rules and regulations. The EU are typical globalist group who want to have all these rules and regulations. They're massively pro big business and big banks and capitalism because they want to have this system where, cash is a fucking thing of the past. We're all singing off the same hymn sheet. They know where everybody is. They know exactly where you're spending your money. They can get every penny of tax you owe them. They do want a sort of, Star Trek type world, except for the cool stuff like a holodeck where you can, run a train on 25 Playboy bunnies. That's the cool stuff about the future. Well, you don't get that. What you get is a giant multinational fucking globalist world that is just like one giant shit country. And again, I've never agreed with the likes of Alex Jones and all them. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And you have to face the mirror and say, you know what, I was wrong. And just see what's happening. All of Hillary Clinton's leaked speeches, they basically want us all living in one giant shit country. Because if you're in one giant shit country, they can keep tabs on you. They can watch everything you do. They want everyone on their apps, using your iPhones, getting monitored by Google. No more cash, because cash can lead to illicit stuff. And they don't get their bit. And the one thing with the government is they always want their fucking bit. They want to know every penny you earn and every penny you spend. That's why they love Oyster cards and they're trying to say to Londoners, don't use money anymore. Just always use your Oyster card. Use your Oyster card for everything. Yeah, then they know exactly what time you got on the tube, exactly what time you got off the tube, exactly which trains you got on and off at every single time, and every pub, every penny you spent that day out. They know everything. And the reason I'm against it in principle is, like I said, not because I want people to be able to do illegal things, because of freedom. If you want to fucking sit in your garden getting pissed off moonshine, do it. I don't care. Yeah, they want rid of cash, definitely, because they want to just know everything is. And I don't know if I'd go as far as talking like New World Order shit. I just think it's big business, big banks, big politics. They just want us all in one box. And like I've always said, I want the world to remain the way it is because that's why I'm a conservative. Because I like it. I think back to how good the 80s and the 90s was, and I think I would like young children to grow up in the same world where Scotland is different from Japan, right? There's a lot of ways Japan's better than Scotland, right? I've never seen a morbidly obese chav fucking a fucking smackhead over a park bench full of buckfast at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't see that in Japan. Never. But guess what? They're different because they're free and they choose to be that way. I don't want young kids to go to Glasgow in 50 years' time and find it to be identical to Paris, Rome, Tokyo, New York. I like people's autonomy. I like people to be individuals. People can be different if they want. And these engineering types, these social engineers that run the fucking world nowadays, they don't want that. They want everyone to be identical and everywhere to look the same and feel the same and smell the same, so they can keep tabs on every penny that comes in and out of your country and keep tabs on where you're going. Yeah, Japan. Well, I talk about it a lot because I know about Japan. I went there like about 7 times. I really liked it. Went there as a young lad because it was totally easy to meet chicks. Like, it used to be I was sat on the train once and a bird come over and was like, "Oh, you have blue eyes, like Backstreet Boys." And I was like, fucking hell. They said I looked like fucking Eddie Munster on the train in England. So that's why I used to like it. I went loads when I was a young lad. And, oh yeah, I'm in California now. I get around me. I'm like a fucking jippo. I've been a jippo for 20 years. It's really strange. I've never really settled in anywhere. Maybe that's because I'm just a cantankerous person and I'm always pissed off about stuff. But yeah, I've wandered all over trying to, I don't know, maybe feel a sense of contentment somewhere. I've never got it. I don't have it here either. It's a weird thing. But Japan is a nice place, and it's an inescapable reality that these globalist types don't want to accept is that humans are... yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, Jack. Yeah, I went to Japan because they have the smallest penises in the world, and I could finally be average. I just loved walking around the pubs and the women saying, "There's average cock." Yeah, average cock, spot on. That suited me down to the ground. It was also good being in a lift, an elevator. Sad wings. It was also good being in an elevator and being the tallest bloke there. I was like. It was the only time I've ever been stood at the back in a lift and sort of look around me and all I can see is the back of everybody's heads because I'm only like 5'9". It was quite good to be one of the tallest blokes there as well. So I know a lot about the place, and humans are tribal because we're an evolved ape. Now obviously educated chaps like us, you grow up and you learn and you advance and you realise how sort of dangerous and damaging tribalism is when you start playing collectivism, which is again why I'm always arguing with the far right as well. It's like collectivism I don't agree with because that's anti-freedom. I think people should be free to do whatever they want, and ultimately, depending on the individual, people are tarmac you drive. No, because if I tarmac you fucking drive, I do a good job of it. I'm a professional. Bootnecks do things right. So if I was to tarmac your drive, it wouldn't be real gypsy because there wouldn't be, you know, fag ends and fucking teeth in your driveway. Where was I? Oh yeah, it is human nature. I remember reading a thing about preferences on dating apps like Tinder and stuff, and you know they crunch the numbers from tens of thousands of users, and every one of them, regardless of gender, was more likely to pick their own. So black women preferred black men, black lesbians preferred other black lesbians, Asians preferred Asians, whites preferred whites. Not terribly, because most people aren't mega racist, but the percentages were obvious. Like, you know, they were like -4% less likely to pick someone of a different race. White, I think, was quite popular. So if you were like Asian, you're like -4% chance you're gonna, whatever it is they do, swipe right on a fucking white guy. Whereas you were like +7 on your own race. And that was across the spectrum. It doesn't matter what you are, people do prefer their own. And that's the problem, isn't it? Because in Japan they have low crime and good societal cohesion because they are as homogenous as the UK was in the 50s. Like I've always said, the real issue with immigration is just when you do it too quickly. If you do it nice and slow and steady like it was in the 80s, which is why I went to school with so many lads, not so many, a small number of lads, black, Asian, Indian and that's like, and everybody got on with them. And you still bump into them occasionally now when I go back to Middlesbrough, and they fit in really well because they came in small groups, and those small groups quickly assimilate. You go to school and you're the only Indian kid in your class, or there's only 2 or 3 here. You hang out with all the other kids, and 10 years later you've got a well-rounded English kid who's devastated because he doesn't have an Indian accent. Instead he sounds like me, so his entire family in India think he's a complete fucking retard, but he's fucking integrated. And it works that way. And this is what I've always been. I'm a centrist, and I always complain about the extremes because the extreme left have got the bit between the teeth at the minute, and that's why that's basically all I do is pick on them fuckers. But the extremists on the right are as bad in the fact that they play collectivism with people. And like I've told Cheshire, my man there, plenty of times, you know, I just don't agree with it. I know we have our issues and we need to screw the nut, sort out illegal immigration, deport all the fucking scumbags, the criminals and that, but I don't agree with the extremist positions on it because ultimately the ones that I went to school with, the kids I know personally, when immigration was a common sense level in the 80s and the 90s, they fit in really well, they integrated, they support fucking Middlesbrough and they talk like me. What business have those guys not... They haven't got any business getting deported. The now identify as Borough, and they talk Borough, and they live it, and they love the town. So that's why I'm really centrist on that type of thing. But it needs to not yet. I don't. Yeah. Again, hey, I'm a man of evidence. If in 5 years' time we need to fucking go further, then we'll go further. But as it stands, I just think we would be fine if we had a common sense, logical approach to it. Got rid of the 1 million+ illegals and started pushing our values, waving the fucking flags everywhere. I don't think there's any need to go off the deep end with it. But we'll fucking see. If I'm wrong, hey, I'll hold my hands up. If in 10 years' time the entire House of Parliament looks like the fucking cast of The Cosby Show, I'll hold my hands up and I'll say, hey, there you go, I was fucking wrong. But we'll see. I've gone on a total tangent there. Oh yeah, I was talking about Japan, yeah. So Japan, it does work. You have small controlled immigration. There are immigrants in Japan. Not that many. Like, you can go an hour without even seeing a single white or black person when you walk around in Tokyo. It's pretty mad. They're out there, but not loads, because if you let small amounts in, it works. And I'm sure those ones, I used to know an Aussie bloke called Simon who'd been out there about 11 years, and he proper integrated, and he learned Japanese, because when you're the only guy there, you speak the fucking language. I mean, there's a really obvious one. You've got like third generation Turks in Germany. All right, Mark, cheers, mate. You've got like third generation Turks in Germany who can't speak German. Third generation. Yeah, Ragnar, probably exactly right? And again, it's not, you've almost got to say it's not their fault. Because if you move there, like they did in the 80s, like I said, there was 2 black lads in my year at school. Only 2. So like I said, not too many. Probably 3 or 4 Asians, Pakistani Indians, and then maybe one sort of Japanese, Chinese, whatever. There's probably only about 10 or 11 minorities in my year out of about, what? It's a small school, about 150. So not a tiny amount, but not a massive amount. But every one of them learns English. They speak it fluently by the time they're 15. Because they live in a street where everybody else is fucking English. So it works perfectly. And that's how you integrate people. That's how you build, civic nationalism regardless of your ethnicity. You make everybody proud to be British, proud to be English, because they identify as English, because they speak like you and I. And it does work if you have a small and steady stream. But we've completely lost the fucking plot lately. It's madness. Anyway, I didn't come to talk about that, because that's just common sense shit, right? That's what I keep saying. The general public has more common sense than all the people who run the bastard country, because they just do. Like, if you speak to 9 out of 10 people in the pub, they get it. It's only the fuckwits that run the show that don't, because you don't need to do an IQ test or have any qualifications to be a bloody politician, do you? You can be as thick as a fucking Docker's sandwich, and you can still be an MP in England. Like, it's unbelievable. IQ of a sausage roll, fucking Diane Abacus, who can't count past 10 unless she's wearing flip-flops, then she can do the other fucking 10. They are unbelievably stupid and ignorant, but this is the world we live in. To know more than our MPs, you just have to read the fucking papers. Exactly right, Paz. Exactly right. And again, everyone knows this. Everyone knows it. Like, it's not like Paz is some sort of like elite political genius from Harvard, and he's dropping this bombshell on us. Of course they like it. Douglas Murray talked about in his book that apparently the figures even correlate with people that are posh, because in all the neighbourhoods where the people are like super white, 99% white, everyone's middle class, and the houses are worth £1 million fucking pound each. All of them are like, oh yeah, immigration's fantastic, doesn't cause any problems. And then you go somewhere like Middlesbrough, that's a total shithole, and you live in a terraced house, and there's 11 Somalian families out of the 13 families on the street. They don't say, oh, it's fucking great, there's no problems. They say, I can't get a doctor's appointment, I can't get a dentist appointment, I can't fucking go out of my house without getting stopped by a gang of burly youths who are threatening and menacing me. They have problems. The reason the fucking posh cunts don't think it's a problem is because they never even see one. Like, do you think Angela Merkel, she let in, 2 million? You think Angela Merkel's ever even seen a Somalian? She probably lives in, like, the whitest suburb imaginable. And she's going, oh, there's no problems. Actually, Paz, you'll understand this one. It's like a military analogy. When I was in the Corps, deployed to Iraq, fucking horrendous. Food was terrible. Terrible. And then Tony Blair and George Bush did a visit. So they flew in. This is when I was at the BSU in Baghdad. Tony Blair and George Bush came. I've told the story before about Tony Blair, my mate, stitching him up. But, like, suddenly the food's amazing. They were literally, like, flying shit in from everywhere. Like, you know, helicopter Chinook comes in. What's that? Oh, it's the steak and lobster for the Tony Blair, the president. And then they come in and the fucking lads are whinging at the senior officer who's with him, who's like a brigadier or something. And he's like, oh, you lads are fucking mental. Like, we're all sitting in the canteen eating this marvellous spread that was fucking imported. And he's like, oh, you lads have been complaining about the food. It's fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. And we're like, what do you think we eat like this when you're not visiting, you silly cunt? Like, if they did flash visits without telling anybody about it, then they'd see what it's really like. But they never do. And that is analogous of posh people talking about immigration, isn't it? It's exactly the same. Like, don't live near any, don't see any, don't compete with any, don't send the kids to public schools where there's no places, don't send the kids to the dentist where there's 200 Afghans in the queue, don't fucking go to the supermarket where there's fucking 40 of them having a picnic in the fucking... Because I've seen that in Morrison's. Seen a load of random fucking swarthy foreigners having a picnic in Morrison's. Like, you get into the sandwich aisle. And I'm thinking, I might get a sandwich for later. And there's 20 fucking tribesmen rooting through the salads. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you know, just eating it all and fucking tossing it away, like, because they don't want to pay when they get to the checkout. Like, it's mad as fuck. Angela Merkel doesn't see that. Tony Blair goes to fucking Waitrose in Kensington. They don't even see one. So it is the same thing. But you keep dragging me off away from what point I was going to make. I'm not talking about immigration anymore. You get me wound up. This is what I want to talk about. Joe Biden makes eyebrow-raising comments to young girls at a campaign stop in Miami. Now, seriously, right? Again, this is what I'm talking about, like, the forcing us to be conspiracy theorists. Spent the last 10 years denying all the conspiracies. And then slowly I'm going, fucking hell, maybe they're onto something. We know there's been a problem with paedophilia, right? All the conspiracy theorists are going like, fucking hell, there's nonces everywhere. They act as if you can't leave your house without tripping over a nonce. Like, you know, you send the dog into the back garden for a shite and the next thing it's tripping over pedos lurking in the bushes. It's like, that's the way people are acting. And then this mad bastard constantly comes out with creepy as fuck stuff. Just listen to what he said, right? I swear down. I looked it up because you read the story on Twitter and you go, surely he didn't say that. Surely he's not that fucking stupid. Yeah, he is a wrong one, definitely. Now listen to this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too. So it's great to see you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right, so for those that missed it, first of all, there's nobody there. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed there's just nobody there? Like, that crowd made less noise than fucking Anne Frank's drum kit, right? Nobody there. Nobody there. Trump's getting these mammoth fucking crowds, like thousands of them. We've got that. Looks like about fucking 15 people. And so that's an obvious one regarding voter intention. Or, like I said, Trump doesn't need to do particularly well. He just needs Democrats not to turn up. And there isn't any enthusiasm for Joe Biden, no matter what the media says. And secondly, there was a load of little girls did a dance for him, and he literally said, I can't wait to see them in 4 years' time, like as if to say basically, then they'll be 18 and I can smash them. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's crazy. It said he was then pulled back a few steps by his wife, and he mumbled, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then he fucked off. War boss, how you doing? We're just laughing at Joe being creepy and nonsense. I'll play it again for your benefits. This is when he's just watched a load of little kids dancing.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too.
And then he says, I want to see those beautiful young ladies when they're dancing in 4 years, when they're 4 years older. Because he's fucking creepy. So yeah, mental. I don't know what to say about it. Like, all of the mad pedo stuff that's gone on in the last few months, that's got all the conspiracies forming at the mouth. Like, oh my God, there's like some global non-conspiracy. And he comes out with shit like that. Like, it's just unending. So, you know, he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know fucking where he is. He's off his fucking box. Yeah, I don't. Isn't it weird, though? You always keep your sex drive when you're a man. That must be evolution as well, right? Because we can keep siring children until we die. It's like, it's weird how he's completely off his box, but he's still a dirty bastard. Like, he could have had a stroke and lost a feeling down the entire left side of his body, but he'd still be pulling himself off in the hospital bed. It's like, I don't fucking get it. What's my name? Matt. Although, you know, that reminds me, I was trying to train my Alexa yesterday, because we have got one. My missus bought me it. It's fucking over there. And it asks you to do voice training. And I was like, okay. And it said, first, start with your name. And I said, Matt. And then it said, okay, Mom. So, yeah, I get nowhere with that. Well, anyway, I just wanted to share that video. I thought it was funny. I can't stay long, because I've got shit to do. Funny that, innit? Unbelievable. So 2 things to take away from that. 1, there was nobody there. No fucking Hong Kong. Great. No enthusiasm. Tiny crowd. Made less noise than Anne Frank's drum kit. And second of all, creepy, sweaty, old pervert. Probably going to pull himself senseless when he gets home. Even though he can barely speak. Interesting, isn't it? The urges stay. Of our ability to know they're not socially appropriate to care. There you go. So with any luck, give it another week, they'll catch him. You know, he'll be watching 2 teenagers kissing at the front of the bus, and he'll have a pocket wank in front of a reporter, and that'll be him done. Yeah, he'll pull himself off on public transport, and you're guaranteed a win for Donald. Anyway, right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm off. I can't stay. Mike, hi and bye. Hope you enjoyed that little nugget. I'll hopefully make something a bit more professional later on. Thanks for checking out, guys. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.